In this video, we'll take a look at the permalink settings in the WordPress SEO plugin by Yoast. The settings on this panel enable you to make advanced changes to your site's permalink structure, the format used to create the URLs for your site's pages and posts. Most users don't need to make changes to these settings, but we'll cover them briefly here just so you're aware of what these settings do. By default, WordPress includes a category base, usually the word category, in the URL for your category archive pages. You can strip that category base from your category URLs if you like, but it's generally not very beneficial to your site's rankings. When you upload an image to your posts, WordPress automatically creates a link to that image on its own separate attachment page. This page typically only includes the image, so it's a good idea to redirect those attachment URLs to the parent post itself. It's a good idea to remove stop words from your permalinks or slugs. Stop words are the most common words, like for, the, or and they take up character space in your permalinks. And since search engines typically only read the first 65 characters in a URL, it's a good idea to remove those less significant words to save space for the more important words in your title. If you run a very popular site with articles that typically get hundreds of comments, you might choose to remove the reply to com variables. These are just tiny bits of code that are added to the reply link in your comments that enable folks to reply or respond to individual comments on your blog posts. Those reply links are still crawled by search engine robots, so if you have a lot of comments, you might choose to remove those variables. The next option will force WordPress to add a trailing slash at the end of your category and tag URLs, even if you've chosen a different permalink structure for your site. For example, ending your post URLs with .html or .php. Sometimes other people make mistakes when they link to your site. Or some services like Buffer and others add strings of parameters to the end of your URLs. This option allows you to redirect them all away. Activating this option reveals additional options that you'll need to configure in order to clean those links. But in most cases, this is really not recommended, and in fact, there are some plugins that will break if you activate this option. By default, WordPress includes a number of extraneous links in the head section of your site. This is a section of code that isn't visible on your web page itself, but if you view the source code for your site in your browser, you'll see it. Generally, the less irrelevant code Google has to crawl through, the better. So the WordPress SEO plugin allows you to clean up some of these unnecessary links. RSD links are used by third-party services that use a method called XML RPC to publish remotely to your blog. For those remote publishing services to work, the RSD links have to be visible. But if you don't use a third-party publishing tool or a service like this, you can check this box. It can always be unchecked at a later time if necessary. If you don't use or aren't already familiar with Windows Live Writer, you can safely hide this link as well. Out of the box, WordPress creates a shortened version of the URL to each of your posts, which are called short links. If you don't use short links, you can hide that link from your head code. If your site includes a blog, it's best to leave the RSS links option unchecked. RSS links are used by many people who prefer to subscribe to their favorite sites and read the latest content in an RSS reader instead of visiting each site daily. So you'll likely want to leave this unchecked. When you're finished with these settings, be sure to click the Save Changes button. Hopefully this helps explain some of these advanced permalink settings, even if you rarely have need of them.